right, well, we do have a decent sized group with us, so I am going to go ahead and get today's session kicked off. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, LinkedIn for Business with Scott Clanin of Clanin Marketing. Just a few quick things before we get started, and all of you who have been here before have heard this many times, but you are welcome to ask questions throughout today's session. We just ask that you submit those via that chat box in your toolbar, and we will address those once Scott is done with his presentation. You will also receive an email follow-up that will go out either later today or first thing tomorrow morning, and that will include a link where you can view the recording of today's session, and you can also download a copy of the presentation, and Scott will also share that link in the beginning of his presentation too. I do want to thank the community partners that we have on today's session as well, and I will include links to all of their websites in that follow-up email so that you can check out their organizations and what they have going on. A lot of them are here local in the Champaign-Urbana area, but we do have also the EDC of Decatur and Macon County on today's session. So if you're local to their area, check out them as well. And then the last thing I will include in that email is a link to the events calendar that we have. So if you want to join us for any of our other upcoming sessions, we do have quite a few with Scott coming up in person at the Champaign Public Library. So if you would like to join us there, please feel free to do that. They're all offered at no cost and open to everyone. So I'll go ahead and hand it off to Scott and we can get started.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jordan. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for our LinkedIn for Business webinar. One moment, I'll be sharing my screen. So let me pull that up. There. All right, Jordan, just confirm. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Well, again, welcome. Today's webinar is LinkedIn for Business. Like Jordan, I also have a couple of housekeeping items. If you'd like a copy of today's presentation, you can visit our website at claninmarketing.com/workshops. Scroll about midway through the page and you're going to see a For Attendees section. Just fill out your name and email. And again, you'll get a PDF copy of today's presentation. Like Jordan mentioned, we've partnered with some incredible local community partners to make this webinar possible today and free. Can't beat that. And so all those are listed on the SBD's website. If you'd like a list of some of our upcoming webinars for the rest of 2024, we have all of those at the top of this page, /workshops, where you can read a little more about the description of the webinar and then the registration link that will take you over to the SBD's website. So I hope to see you on one of our next workshops or webinar. Like Jordan mentioned, some of those will be conducted in person at the Champaign Public Library in downtown Champaign. All right, like Jordan mentioned, my name is Scott Clanin. I am the owner of Clanin Marketing. We're a marketing creative agency based out of downtown Champaign, and we work with clients all across the Midwest. Our company really started in the social media space. So we were helping clients back in, I was personally helping businesses back in 2010, 11, helping navigate this new world of social media. And so it's been so fun throughout the years seeing social media evolve and change and new features and tools come out and new platforms emerge entirely. And one of them being LinkedIn. Of course, it's not a new platform. It's been around for some time. I think a lot of people know of LinkedIn for yourself. You can create a personal account for yourself, very similar to Facebook, but you can have a company account on LinkedIn. And it's a great platform, especially for those who are B2B businesses. Business to business, you conduct business with other businesses. Whereas Facebook, for example, it's a great platform. You could still be a B2B company and have a presence on Facebook. But Facebook is really geared more to the B2C, business to consumer, getting in front of your potential customers through their Facebook page. Whereas on LinkedIn, it's similar to Facebook. You have individual accounts, but you're really putting your professional hat on. And while it's similar to Facebook, it is a little more buttoned up, and you are representing yourself as your 8 to 5 Monday through Friday self, right? Your business hat. So I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks with you today, as with all of my webinars and workshops. We could really spend all week just talking about LinkedIn for Business, but we simply don't have the time. So I only have about 45 minutes with you today because we want to save some time for questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to be going over some more of the basics for those on the call that very new to LinkedIn, you haven't created a company account, welcome. We're going to go over some of those with you today. But for some of those on the call that maybe you have a company account, you've been trying some things, we'll be sharing some new tools and features and just best tips and practices for running your company account on LinkedIn. Like Jordan mentioned, if you have a question at any point today, just use the chat box within the Zoom toolbar to ask your question. Jordan's going to read me those questions at the end. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with our agenda today. We're first going to talk about your goals and audience. And if you've been in any of my webinars in the past, you know that it's really important to make sure you're going into something with a plan, with something in mind. If you go right in and create an account and start posting things without pausing for a moment, doing some research and getting your ducks in a row, you might find it a little overwhelming, or you might find yourself a little lost as to what should I be posting? What's that frequency? So we're going to talk about goals and audience. Why LinkedIn? We're going to skim that section because I think all of you understand the importance of being on LinkedIn. That's why you're on the call today. Talk about LinkedIn pages, types of content to post. This is the question that we get asked quite often is what should I be posting on LinkedIn? Best practices when it comes to pages, LinkedIn advertising, and then LinkedIn metrics. All right, so let's first talk about your overall objectives. What do you want to achieve on LinkedIn? So you're all on the call today. I would assume a handful of you probably don't have a LinkedIn account yet for your business. Well, the other half do. But what are you really looking to achieve on LinkedIn? Is it a public relations standpoint? Is it to get more eyes and awareness on your brand, on your product, on your service? Is it to generate leads? Is it a sales arm for your sales team to connect with decision makers at other companies, people that you're looking to target, connect with them, and then take it offline, set up a call, set up a meeting? Are you using it as a sales arm? Are you using it more for to get people to do something, some type of call to action, visit the website, right? Or you contact us, for our products or services. A lot of times, or in that same bucket, that call to action, read an article, right, on our website, setting yourself up or your business up as kind of the industry leader in your industry. So there's a lot that you can do on LinkedIn, but it's really important to kind of think about where should I take this, right? What are my overall goals and objectives with using LinkedIn? Kind of talk about that. What will LinkedIn allow you to do that other platforms don't? Who is your target audience and which members of your audience are active on LinkedIn? The example, for us, LinkedIn is a great way to get in front of the people that we want to get in front of. We are a B2B business. We conduct business with other businesses. We're not a consumer-facing brand, right? So people aren't coming off the street to work with us on a personal graphic design project for like their kid's birthday party, right? We're not that company. We're working with companies on websites and videos and things. So we want to reach decision makers, the executive directors, right? Marketing directors at other companies. We can't do that, or it's very challenging for us to do that on Facebook because Facebook is very busy, right? We would have to cut through a lot of the messaging that's already out there, a lot of the ads that are already showing up in a lot of our feeds. And then we're trying to get in front of people who may have that job title if they've set the job title on their account on Facebook. So it's challenging to get in front of the right people for us on Facebook, whereas on LinkedIn, a little easier, right? So one of our strategies, instead of doing a direct call to action of, hey, contact us here, we do a lot of, we share a lot of our webinars and we share a lot of the work that we did, right? Because for our type of company, it's all about sharing your portfolio. So we understand we need to get in front of these decision makers. We're going to get in front of them by showcasing some of our work. So then we generate what we're calling this top of mind awareness. We want to be kind of that top of mind when people are searching for the services that we offer. So that may be a very similar strategy to what you're doing. Or again, maybe you're a new company in town, you're a newer brand, you just need to generate brand awareness. So it could be a quick blog article as to how you got started, why you got started, right? A little peek behind the curtain into your company, into your founder, a short video, maybe a company overview video, right? Increasing brand awareness in your marketplace, that could certainly be an objective. And so it's really important, again, before you dive into your LinkedIn page or start reevaluating some of your strategies, think about how you're using it and who you want to talk to. If you've been in my webinars, you've seen this slide. I've been using this for years and years. Regardless if you're on LinkedIn or really any social media platform, it's so important to really understand your targeted audience. So who do you want to talk to? What's most important to them? On LinkedIn, it's really important to think about what are the job titles of the people that we want to get in front of. All this information is useful not only on LinkedIn, but again on Facebook, on Instagram. So when you're running ads and you're setting up your ad settings, you can say, I want to run my ad to people within this region with these type of job titles or work within these type of industries. On the consumer side, when we're creating a Facebook page for ourselves or a LinkedIn page for ourselves, what are we doing? A lot of times we're filling out the fields and answering the questions that they're asking us. And once we complete our personal profile, they're actually using all of that information that we just put in, even though it looks like we're just filling out our profile just to fill it out. They're using it for marketing purposes. And it makes sense, right? That's how they serve ads, relevant ads, hopefully, to us. And so think about this as well as we're going through today's presentation. Of course, this is the one that we're going to skip through quickly, but why LinkedIn? It's just a great solution for those who a little more, again, more B2B. You can still be a B2C and be on LinkedIn, but it's a great way to connect with other professionals, whether it be through your individual account, but most importantly, potential customers for your business. Okay, so LinkedIn pages. This is very similar to a Facebook business page. Okay, you have your logo here, you have your header, you have your one opening line, you have a little category. For us, it's advertising services, location, how many followers, employees, and then you can go into a little more about the business with a little write-up. We had a recent workshop on social media optimization. And during that webinar, we talked about the importance of really reviewing all of your pages as a member would. So if you set this up, or if someone has set up this page for you a while ago, take some time to look at it. Is your write-up the same that you're using on Facebook? Has things changed over the years that are not reflected on your Instagram account? Or I'm sorry, on your LinkedIn account. So take some time to do a little audit if you already have an existing page and make sure that you have everything correct, your URLs correct, your phone, but most importantly, your write-ups. Because this is that one opening sentence that someone's going to read when they land on your page. They may not know about you, but this is your one kind of short little elevator pitch, if you will, as to who you are. Okay, like I mentioned, on the left, you have your personal LinkedIn account. And then on the right, you have your business LinkedIn account, okay? So you don't have a separate login to your business page. You do have to have a personal LinkedIn account to gain access to your Facebook LinkedIn account. To add another person, you just go into the settings and add them as an admin, but you do need to have a personal LinkedIn account to manage a business page, okay? So let's go through some other quick things before we go through some best practices. So again, just the overview of having a company page on LinkedIn. Of course, you can join the conversations that matter. I can't tell you the number of times I've worked with clients that say, I don't know what else I should be doing to increase my brand awareness or to get in front of more people online. And then through a little audit, we could just use a search bar within LinkedIn. We see that a lot of people have been trying to tag, and this is a specific example from the client that we have in Springfield, Illinois. It's a nonprofit, it's an association, and they do a conference every year. We found that a lot of people that were going to that conference were trying to tag them on LinkedIn, but they didn't even have a LinkedIn page. So they were missing out on all of these conversations by simply just not having an account. So you join the conversations that matter. You can post and respond on the go with, of course, the LinkedIn mobile app. You can show PDFs, PowerPoints, and Word documents. Again, for those who are really looking to set themselves up as an expert, an industry expert within your field, you want to share information, right? And so you can certainly do that. And then associate your page to trending hashtags. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Know and grow your audience. So again, it gives you a lot of metrics on the back end to understand who's following your page. What are some common job titles of your followers, industries that you work in? Invite your profile connections to follow your organization's page. If there's any big takeaway, this is one big one for today that I'll show you later. But this is a newer feature that came out, I think, shortly before the pandemic. So it's now maybe 5-ish years old. There is a way for you to invite your personal connections to your LinkedIn business page, and overnight you can start increasing your page followers tremendously. So we did the same thing on our end, and we went from just 100, maybe under 100, to over 600. So I always say this in all my social media workshops. Don't worry about the number of followers you have, right? Because some people get so concerned about, oh, we don't have a lot of followers. Should we buy followers? And you never, ever, ever want to buy followers, because there are certainly services out there that will say, oh, we can guarantee you this many followers on your page. But it's not just about the number, it's about the quality of your followers. You want people to follow you that may have the potential to buy from you, to utilize your product, to utilize your services. So I would rather have 300 quality followers than 500 non-quality followers, right? People that will never have an interest in reaching out to us. So it's not just all about the number. Of course, monitor activity with visual analytics. We'll talk about that. And then engage your people. So you can reshare your employees' best LinkedIn posts, reshare member posts at mentioned company, very similar to Facebook. Okay, so let's dive into some general best practices with some simple ones to start, and then we'll go into some newer ones. Of course, you want to make sure that you are uploading your logo. This is your same logo that you're using on Facebook, on all of your other social media accounts, and it fits within that square frame 1080 by 1080 pixels. You have your overview. This is really important to make sure you're adding keywords and phrases that describe your company's mission and purpose. LinkedIn members can search by keywords. So include words and phrases that describe your business expertise and industry focus. And then, of course, your organization info. So making sure that you're adding in your phone number, your website, where you're located, your specialties, a good, well-written overview, etc. So again, just put yourself in the shoes of someone maybe who stumbled upon an article you posted, or someone, maybe one of your customers or clients tags you on LinkedIn. One of their followers, who is this company? They land on your page. What do you want them to read? Okay. All right, just recently, over the past just couple of weeks, they did introduce a new dashboard. So what's really cool, when you do go on the back end of your LinkedIn business page, you have this new section at the top called Today's Actions. Pages that complete these actions regularly grow 4 times faster. Do I believe it? I don't know. I think part of it is LinkedIn just wanting us to try to fill out as much as we can and utilize as many tools as we can, but it certainly couldn't hurt, right? So you can definitely try some of these recommended actions. So save time. The first one, save time with content sharing. Grow followers by sharing content from your organization's website and other sources to your page. Or feature top content. Grow your reach and engagement by featuring top content on your home tab. So if you're familiar with Facebook, if you run your company's Facebook page, you'll know that you can pin posts to the top of your page. Same thing on Instagram. You can now do that on LinkedIn. Okay. So this is the new dashboard. When you are logged in as an admin to your page, on the left-hand side, you see your logo, your name, create, and view as member. View as member is going to take you over to your public-facing LinkedIn page. When you want to post something, you're going to, of course, click that blue plus create button there. But one of the newer features that, again, the one that can really help grow your account is invite to follow. You'll see that in the yellow outline left a little ways down, invite to follow. This was a game changer when this tool came out, and a lot of people don't really know about this. If you have a lot of followers to your personal LinkedIn account, you can go ahead and click that button, and then you can select specific people that you want to invite to follow your company LinkedIn page. This is great if you're in a sales executive or work in some type of sales role. You've grown your followers over the years to your personal LinkedIn account, but maybe your company just recently launched a company LinkedIn page that you're going to be utilizing more and more. You want some of your key customers to start following that page. Perfect. Click that invite to follow. You do have a credit limit, so you can only invite a certain handful of people per day, but then that credit limit will refresh, I think, every day. So you can go ahead and start inviting people, and that's how we really grew our page. Now, again, if you have multiple salespeople helping manage your LinkedIn page, they can do the same thing. They can also click that invite to follow. It's not just for one admin, it's for anyone who's connected to the page. They can go ahead and invite their followers to the page. So let's talk about page content, right? What do I share on LinkedIn? And it's similar to the question we get asked on Instagram and on Facebook. And this is what people struggle with is I don't really know what to post. So I want to give you some ideas. Of course, the first one is good old-fashioned blog posts. Now, for those of you who do blog, kudos. I know blogging can take some time out of your day, but it's very useful. Jordan and I have had a number of search engine optimization webinars, and that's how you rank well on the Google search. And blogs are a key component to that. Blogging adds a lot of fresh content to your page. It drives traffic to your website, which Google likes to see. It incorporates a rich list of keywords across your website. So blogging in general is great, but it does take time. So if you're already blogging on your page, take that direct link to that article, share that on LinkedIn. What's going to happen, again, it starts setting yourself up as an industry expert while it drives traffic over to your company LinkedIn page and your company website. Company awards and media mentions. So anytime someone is tagging you on LinkedIn, try to reshare that. It just shows that, wow, a lot of people are talking about my business. Any award that you recently received, again, that kind of PR element. Look what we just got awarded for our work in blank, blank, blank. Case studies. This is really important, right? More for, I would say, service-based businesses, because I know with a product, you have something tangible, right? You have this item that you can take a photo of, you can push it out, and you can market that. With a service, we're selling something that we can do for you. We're delivering something at the end, but really it's that service that you're coming to us for. So a case study is really interesting where you can highlight a project, give them, okay, here was what the client's problem, here's how we came to the table and developed a solution, and then here were the results, right? I am a numbers person. I love metrics. And the beauty of anything digital, whether it's a campaign on social media or generating traffic over to your website, you can pull percentage numbers. So it's like this project that helped increase website traffic by 65%. So the case study article could be, learn how we helped this client increase their website by 65% over the past quarter. And then there's a link to that case study. Really cool. You don't have to put it on your website. You can write an article directly on LinkedIn, which I'll show you, but that's always helpful. Third-party industry articles and reports. Again, going back to the concept of setting yourself up as an industry expert, keeping a good on the forefront of what's happening in your industry, chiming in with your expert thoughts and opinions. LinkedIn is just riddled with a ton of different really good articles and reports from third-party organizations or publications that you can share. They want you to share, right? And then provide your own content. Helpful how-to content, vivid visuals, again, really good graphics. If you struggle with graphics, I want to give you some tips here. Canva could be your best friend, okay? Canva has really shaken up the graphic design industry. There are people in our industry that really don't like it. I don't mind it because it's quick and easy and it gets a lot of businesses kind of up and running with some nice visual content that before would cost some money for an independent graphic designer to do. But if you just need something quick and easy, Canva's great. That is actually our next webinar we have coming up. So take a look at the schedule. But you want to make sure that you're pairing your copy with vivid visuals, what we call thumb-stopping content, right? So look at the motivation or Monday motivation post bottom left. So LinkedIn Marketing Solutions, your brand needs personality. It should think, feel, and act with passion and purpose, just like the marketers behind it. Hashtag Monday Motivation. Now, just imagine if that post didn't have a graphic with it. It would honestly get lost. My eye is not drawn to that at all. But now I see a photo. I see that the subjects in the photo are right aligned. I have a little bit of this negative space on the left-hand side. I'm adding a little bit of this gradient, this color overlay fade. And then in bolder all cap text, I put a quote, brands don't have emotions, people do. And the name and his title there. Great example of a visual piece of content, something that draws you into the post and makes you stop for a second and read it. And it's not a lot of copy either. You do have some people on LinkedIn, you'll see this every day, but you'll log in and you'll see them post like, I can't believe this just happened. And then enter, and then it's like another thing, another sentence, enter, and another sentence. And then you open it all and it's this long thing about some uplifting story, right? Sometimes those go viral, right? But really at the end of the day, keep things short, simple, and to the point, right? You don't want to overwhelm them with a ton of copy. Get to the point, make sure your brand shines through the messaging and the tone and the personality and the words and phrases that you're using, and it also shines through the brand visuals. You can also have some fun with some themed posts if you are working on content ahead of time, and I certainly recommend developing some type of marketing content social media calendar. I'm not saying that everything has to be scheduled, nor do I recommend you scheduling everything out, but you'd want to have an idea of what's going on in the future. I had a meeting recently with a local town, and one of their administrators told me, oh, we really wish we would have planned ahead for the eclipse because we had a ton of interstate traffic that exited for lunch, for a little shopping, as they were making their way over to watch the eclipse in the total eclipse zone that happened recently. But that, if they planned ahead, if they really thought about, well, what's happening the month of blank or during this quarter, then you can start piecing together your content for those weeks, for those months. But a themed post, for example, you could do a Monday motivation, Wednesday wisdom, throwback Thursday, maybe some older projects that you worked on. You don't have to do it all the time, but maybe every other Monday you do some sort of Monday motivation. Just kind of see, again, how people react to some of these posts. Okay, 10 quick tips for your updates. Again, there's a variety of different directions that you can take. Optimize introduction headlines by adding your own point of view. So again, add some of your opinions about this article that came out, setting yourself up as an industry expert. Always include a caption with a clear and concise call to action. Maybe ask thoughtful questions. I'm going to show you a newer feature called polls that you can certainly poll some of your audience that encourages them to participate in this. Maintain an editorial calendar. We talked about that. Make your content snackable and valuable, such as including short stats and quotes. We don't want to overwhelm someone. We live in a world now where our attention spans are super short. Why? Well, you log on social media now and you watch these videos that are only just seconds long anymore, right? We don't want to read. And then same thing we're seeing in the world of website design. We are really trimming back on the amount of copy, and we're doing more of a visual experience on websites. So something that was maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs, we're trying to break that or condense that down to maybe one nice short paragraph. Same thing with your LinkedIn post. If you're trying to get a point across, punch out those statistics quickly, or just punch out that quote quickly, and then give them a link where they can then read more. Engage members through comments. People love being called out online for the right reason, right? If I say, oh gosh, I really love this product, and then the company page responded to me, hey, thanks, Scott. there's a feel-good feeling with that, right? People love that. So engage your members through comments. Thank them for taking the time to share their opinions. See if you can start a short conversation with them in the comment section. Oh, thank you so much. We didn't realize that, or that's a great way to put it. Extend your reach by sponsoring your best content. We'll talk about sponsoring here at the end. And then we talked about the content calendar. Okay. So you want to try, the other question we get asked a lot, how often should I be posting? And it should be weekly. At least I would say 2 to 3 times a week personally. But what's great with the beauty of anything digital is that you can track your results and your metrics and see what people typically respond to. You can test different things and then lean into what's going well. So at the end of the day, you always want to make sure that you're putting something with your post. So the one on the far left, we have the images. Images generally result in 2 times higher comment rate with an image. So you don't want to just do a post. Video is a second, the one in the middle there. Aim for 1 to 2 minute video. Make sure it captures attention within just a few seconds, because again, short attention span. And then finally, documents, so PDFs, PowerPoints, to showcase what makes your brand unique. So maybe it's some sort of guideline or 10 tips for redesigning your website. And it's just a freebie that we give out. That could certainly be something that you look into for your business. Within your dashboard, you do have access to hashtags. Now, hashtags really started from X, formerly Twitter. I don't know when we stopped saying formerly Twitter. Not sure. But then we started seeing hashtags being implemented on Facebook, be implemented through LinkedIn. Hashtags on Facebook, I don't really recommend, but hashtags on LinkedIn, just a couple, 2 to 3 every once in a while at the bottom of your post, I think would be great. You can follow hashtags. So then when you go to your personal LinkedIn page, you open up your stream, you see a lot of articles related to whatever hashtag that you're following. So I think it's a good idea to include them every once in a while, but you don't want to go crazy. This isn't Instagram. You don't want to put 30 different hashtags within one LinkedIn post because it gets very busy, it gets very cluttered. Reshare your mentions. So I know Jordan just recently mentioned us on the SBDC's LinkedIn page. Then I got an alert. I can go ahead and then reshare that. I can simply just reshare it to the company page, or I can reshare with my thoughts, and then I can add a little line there. And then targeting. You do have the ability to target people when you are promoting some of your content online. So you can target people by language, job function, maybe university they went to, location, company size, etc. So if you're looking to get in front of a decision maker within, let's just say something crazy, like the steel industry at a company with more than 300 employees, you could certainly do that, right? You're getting closer to the people that you want to reach, where that would be pretty much impossible to do on Facebook. Okay, let's talk about some other best practices. The one at the top, highlight the best of your brand. Employees typically have 10 times the social reach as your company. Share your employees' best posts on LinkedIn and leverage their network. I'm going to show you a little secret on ways to get your employees engaged and notified when some new content is posted to your company page. But really what they're saying is that, me personally on my personal LinkedIn account, and then if we add in our other team members and all their personal LinkedIn accounts, collectively, we probably have double the amount of followers through our personal LinkedIn accounts than we do on the company page. How do we bridge that gap? Sharing some of their posts. If you do have some active employees, a lot of times it is your sales team or your marketing team that are quite active on LinkedIn, and they should be active on LinkedIn, right? This is how they are getting in front of people. I have connected with some incredible clients where our first connection was on LinkedIn. We've hired some employees that we connected with just on LinkedIn. So people have great reach through their personal accounts. So what are ways that you can maybe share some of their posts if they are posting about your company? Perfect. Share that to the company page. Their personal page gets attached to that. And if they're a salesperson on your company, perfect. Showcase pages, we'll talk about showcase pages here in a bit. And then understanding your audience. So again, going into your metrics and getting a good understanding of the job titles, who they are, etc. I just want to show you this. I don't think a lot of people on the call will have a need for this tool, but just in case, because you will see it, there is something called like a showcase page. So it's almost like you have an umbrella. One example is a hospitality company here in town. It's one hospitality company as the umbrella, but under it they have some sub brands. So they have a cafe, they have a farm, they have a bakery. So all that fits within one umbrella. Same thing with Adobe. Adobe is one kind of umbrella company, but underneath that, they have some other products like Adobe Creative Cloud. So Adobe is the company account on LinkedIn, but your showcase page, affiliated pages, is something underneath that umbrella, and that's the Adobe Creative Cloud. So if you see showcase page, that's what they're talking about there. Okay, so going back to the screenshot that I showed you earlier with the dashboard, right? And you had that blue plus create button. When you click that, it's going to give you a variety of different options, and that's what you're going to see here on the left-hand side. Start a post will come up first because that's, I think, most of us, that's what we want to do. You can also create an event, great for open houses, client appreciation event, community event, whatever it may be. You can add an event on LinkedIn, post a free job. Kind of. We posted a free job recently, but it was free only up to a certain amount of applicants. And after you receive those applicants, then they say you have to pay for it. So yes, it is free, but there is a cap. Create an ad, publish an article. So again, maybe this is great for your case studies, or maybe you wanted to blog, but you don't have the time right now to set that up on your website. Try blogging through the LinkedIn articles. Create a newsletter, create a showcase page. Again, that Adobe example there. But for the most part, we want to start a post. You're going to click that first one there. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see this window. What do you want to talk about? What's really cool, and AI is going to be a game changer. I'm sure Jordan and I, at least next year, will probably have an artificial intelligence webinar. So if you're curious about that or confused about that, I certainly was when it first started rolling out. Keep an eye out for that. But I'm starting to see this more on Facebook. Google started implementing it now, and now LinkedIn, where you can write a caption, but if you're like, oh, I don't really like how that sounds, click rewrite with AI, and it will give you some other ideas. On the bottom there, you have some options. Of course, the photo icon is photos, events. The badge, that star badge there is like celebrate something. Briefcase is your posting a job. I think the graph is polls, and then the little doc is uploading a document. So the little celebrate one, let's go over to that one. This is really cool. A lot of people kind of forget it that this is here, but you can do a variety of things within that little icon. Recognize an employee. You can share a new project milestone. Hey, we're a construction company. We are at the halfway point of this incredible project. Hear from our project manager on when this is going to be completed. Maybe it's a video, right? So project launch, welcome to the team. Here at our company, we just had a new team member start today. So we could actually go to welcome to the team, celebrate a new employee joining your team. You can upload a photo. And you have some other ones there. For the one on the right, I clicked work anniversary. You can add a photo there. What's great is that it's already framed out. You see that little curve there at the bottom? Or you can pair it with a pre-designed graphic that they have if you were to scroll down. This is great. You want employees to feel good at the place that they work. You want to call employees out for all the right reasons online. It also helps build your culture and make you this kind of friendly, approachable company. This is a great place to work. It must be a great place to do business with. Plus, people like working with others. So putting a face with the name is excellent. You can certainly do that with a variety of these to recognize the employee. Great for like employee of the month. If you have an employee of the month, recognize that employee on LinkedIn. Tag them too. You can click the @ symbol, type in their name. You don't have to put their full name. I think their full name will appear, but you can click the backspace or delete once, and it will just delete their last name. So just their tag first name is there. At the end of the day, you have a lot of options on here. One of the newer ones is running a poll, and I'm seeing more and more companies running these, and you can ask a question with a couple different options. You can run how long you want that poll to run, and then at the end you can share your results. So it's a great way to engage with your audience, get feedback, and generate leads. We get a lot of questions on how does this algorithm work? We're not getting a whole lot of engagement on our post. What should I be doing? Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other platforms, they obviously want to make money. So when we post something, yes, we're going to get some engagement on it. It's going to be shown to a handful of people, but it's not going to be shown to all 600 people, every follower that's on your page. It won't. But if LinkedIn and any other social media account is seeing that, gosh, this company, anytime they post something, they get a lot of likes, they get a lot of shares and a lot of comments organically, meaning you're not putting any money behind it. They're going to say, huh, something with this piece of content is really hot right now. We're going to show this to more people. And so you want to try to create this space where you are encouraging conversations, encouraging participation, asking questions. Not saying you need to do this for every post, right? It's all about balance. Same thing when you are ready to do your call to action of like, visit our website, buy now, call now. You don't want to do that for every single one of your posts because then people start ignoring it, right? That all they do is ask me to perform some certain action. You want some that are just quick. Hey, we had a great time visiting our partner or client this morning. Here's some behind the scenes shot. You want that paired with some engagement, asking questions, paired with some call to action. So it's all about striking a really nice balance. You can schedule a post ahead of time. People often forget this is an option. I'm not saying that you need to schedule every post, but if you know for sure, hey, I'm going to be out of the office on the 4th of July, but I want to make sure that our company posts a nice Happy Independence Day post. I love it. Schedule it ahead of time. So on LinkedIn, at the bottom there on the left, in the yellow highlight box, you see the little clock. That is your scheduled post. Once you click that on the right-hand side, you can then click when you want that post to go out. So I certainly recommend that. A little tip here is notifying employees of a post that you just posted. This is so cool, and this is something that people forget about. Let's say your company just was awarded this really big award, okay? It's a team effort. Everyone's very excited about it. You post it on the company page. Now, an employee could go in and click share and share that to their personal account, right? Pride. But if you want to notify employees that something just went out that everyone should know about, go to your post that you just posted, click the three dots on the right-hand side of that post, and you're going to click notify employees. They're going to get a push notification or just a notification on their LinkedIn page next time they sign in saying, hey, your company just posted this, like check it out, right? The wording is different, but you get it, right? This is a great way for you to notify, especially if you have a pretty large team, but this works as a small team too, just letting people know, hey, we posted this that we feel is important for you to see. And if you want to reshare this on your personal page, go for it. But this is a great way to get employees on board with sharing your content out to their pages. Okay, I can't believe this, but we only have about 15 minutes left. But I want to go ahead and take some time to chat about advertising on LinkedIn. So everything we discussed, there's no cost to do that. Very similar to the other social media account. There's no cost to have a page. But you'll see it is challenging sometimes to get in front of the right people at the right time. So there are ways that you can advertise to get in front of those people. Now, with any other social media account, you're in control of your ad spend. There's no long-term contract. You can set the budget, you can set the start date, and you can set the end date, okay? You're in complete control. So I want to show you, again, some of the options available to you. Let's say you are going through a rebrand and you are launching the rebrand and you want to really get as many eyes on it as possible. What I would do is set up some sort of paid LinkedIn campaign. Now, going back to one of our first slides, think about who you want to target. Company name, people that work at, the University of Illinois. People who work at the University of Illinois with the job title as director, with the job title as marketing director, right? So many options available to you. You can test and play. But when you are looking at paid advertising opportunities, look at all the different options that are available here. What schools they went to, job titles, fields of study, age, location. Just make sure you have this in front of you, or at least have a general idea before you start diving into this, because it can be very overwhelming to the point where people may think, oh, I have no idea what I should be doing. Again, this could be also a good team effort, good brainstorming. There's a variety of different ad options available to you on LinkedIn. The most popular one is sponsored content, whether that's a blog, an article, a newsletter, a document, whatever it may be, that's sponsored content. The other one here is sponsored in-mail. This is hit or miss. I get in-mail at least once a week. If done well, I could see this working for businesses, but you can certainly test this and see. I know the University of Illinois uses a lot of in-mail, I believe at least they did, to promote their master's program. And so I get a lot of in-mail of, hey, we'd love to have you enroll in our master's degree program. But it's personalized. So it says, hey, Scott, I'm so-and-so with blank. And so it seems very personalized, but you will see next to it, it does say sponsored. What's cool with this, it gets you in the inbox of someone that you want to target. You don't even have to know their name because the system will put in their first name for you. And then on the right-hand side of their screen, you also get a square text or display ad that goes with your message. So it's hit or miss. I say that because you have some people on the call that they know exactly what these are. We get those messages come in. We don't ever do anything with them. We ignore them. But you do have some people that this is still an option. It must be working well to connect with people that may have an interest in what you're looking to sell. And then on the right-hand side, far right-hand side, you do have some simple text ads. I don't necessarily recommend these for LinkedIn. They don't perform very well. I lean more towards sponsored content or sponsored in-mail. This, I think, is a video, but I am going to skip through this just for time. But if you do download the presentation, you can watch this. Go on the back of your LinkedIn page, and you're going to see, let me see if my next slide has it here. You're going to see a variety of metrics, right? So just as you're pushing content out, whether that's organically or through paid advertising mediums, through sponsored content or in-mail, make sure that you are monitoring your impressions, your number of clicks, and then if you're taking notes, it's not on the slide in front of you, click-through rate, CTR, okay? Every industry has a different average CTR rate on different social media platforms. So you might be thinking, Scott, what are you even talking about? CTR is if I tell you, hey, your ad ran over 2 weeks and you got 50 clicks over to your website. Isn't that great? And you may be thinking, yeah, I guess that sounds great, but I don't know. The real number to look at is your click-through rate. Even though, yeah, you got 50 clicks, but if your ad was shown 60, 70 times and you got 50 clicks, you have a very high click-through rate. But if your ad was shown 800 times and you got 50 clicks, something's not right. Maybe it's the copy, the visual, we're not targeting the right people. You have a very low click-through rate. So definitely Google like average CTR for blank industry LinkedIn, and you'll be able to see a lot of case studies and averages for that there. I did include here some best practices for each ad type. Again, these are coming directly from LinkedIn, so we want to really listen and follow what they're saying. But again, for sponsored content, write headlines that are under 150 characters, keep descriptive copy under 70 characters. Same thing when I was talking about with organic content. You don't want to overwhelm people with a ton of copy because we just kind of glaze over it. Feature call to action. Now, with your sponsored content, you do want a call to action, whereas your organic content, you do want to kind of mix it up. But for this, you're paying money. You want them to do something. Look at the example there, that Findex. Learn how to understand the values and needs of your customers by improving your workflow. Love that. Short, sweet, to the point. You have the link. You have a nice visual. Again, if that picture of the conference room wasn't there with the people working, I don't know if I would click this. And then the title, 10 ways to improve customer productivity. So instead of just saying ways to include customer productivity, we're giving them a number, 10 ways. So we know, okay, there's 10 quick tips I can scan through on this article. Great example. We have some other best practice when it comes to InMail. And then again, this is one that I got from this gentleman, Joe. This is an insurance, what was this? I think a 401k message. And you'll see on the right-hand side is an ad for the company that this person works for. Hi, Scott, I'm Joe from blank. We're helping businesses, yada, yada, yada. Compare plans at the bottom is the call to action. So this came directly into my inbox. And then I have some best practices for text ads as well. I get questions asked about how much does LinkedIn cost? And it's up to you. And I know people don't like that answer, but you're really in control. There is no minimum spend. I would recommend really nothing under like $300 for the month for LinkedIn with what you're doing. But of course, if you have only $200 to spend and you really want to spend something, try it and just see how it works. You're in control of that budget. You can adjust at any point. It's great. You have a variety of options when it comes to advertising on LinkedIn. You can do a CPC. This is the most popular form of advertising I would say on LinkedIn and just general. When you run an ad in the newspaper or on like a billboard, those are still great advertising mediums, right? There's a time and place for those. It's more of an impression-based campaign, okay? Because they're saying, oh, this billboard has this many cars that drive by a day. This is how much we're going to charge you. But when it comes to digital, what do you want them to do? We want them to click the ad, right? We want them to click our piece of content. And I only want to pay when someone clicks it. So that's called a cost per click campaign, a CPC campaign. You only pay when someone clicks it. Your cost per click really varies. Okay, it varies on how long you're running it, who you're targeting. There's competition that's also running ads within your area. There's a lot that goes into the end cost per click. But at the end of the day, you're only paying when someone clicks it. But if you want to do an impression-based campaign, great for, hey, we have this big grand opening, open to the public. We're a new business in town. We just need to get our name out there. You could do a cost per 1,000 impressions campaign. So pay when people see your ad. So every 1,000 times it's shown, that's when you pay. And then you could do a cost per send. So pay when InMail sends a message directly to someone. But at the end of the day, you'll see you have some options available to you. Some of these make sense maybe for the goal that you're looking to achieve. It's like, yeah, I've been trying these different things. Now I only want to pay when someone clicks it. It will give you your average cost per click. And we know that they went to your website at the end of the day. And that's for most of us, that's really what it's all about. Just a little snapshot of some LinkedIn metrics. Again, very similar if you're familiar with Facebook Insights and how many page views your website had on desktop versus mobile. You'll see there's a little spike here. This was January of 2019. We had a 130%, 36% increase in desktop visitors to the LinkedIn page compared to the previous month. So if you're a marketing manager, director, specialist that you report to a board or supervisor, and you need data and numbers and metrics to support your efforts on social media, which I know sometimes can be challenging, LinkedIn metrics is a great way for you to run and compare a lot of different reports. And then this one here, and this goes back to monitoring what people are responding to. You can see how many impressions a certain piece of content got. So you'll see that second one, every business has a story to tell. Yours is waiting to be told. Impressions, 1,900 impressions, right? You also see this was sponsored. So you see the difference between putting money behind a post and then not posting anything. Now, these were taken, I think, before we really increased our followers. So we don't have a ton of impressions, but you'll see the number of clicks, and then you'll see the click-through rate, that CTR rate that I was talking about. You'll see one of the best ones was actually a non promoted post. It was shown 124 times. It got 11 clicks, an 8.87% click-through rate, about midway through the screenshot there. We didn't pay anything for that, but we had a pretty high click-through rate, people that then went over to the website. And again, your industry will have an average CTR rate that you can monitor on LinkedIn and on all the other platforms too. Google search ads, display ads, Facebook ads, they all have average CTR rates that you can keep in mind. And just again, some other screenshots here. All right, so that was a crash course really in LinkedIn for Business. It's a great platform, right? I'm a big fan of it. I will say our company, we're a little quiet right now on LinkedIn because we are getting ready for our rebrand, which is very exciting. So we're pressing reset on everything and getting our ducks in a row. But I love LinkedIn, especially for those on the call who do business with other businesses or getting in front of those key decision makers that historically, before you had to go to coffee events, networking events, lunches. You still, I think, I would recommend you still do those, right? Just to get out in the community. But this is a great way to connect with people that you haven't had an opportunity to meet yet within an industry that you're looking to target, who have certain job titles that maybe work at a certain company. So it's a great platform. We've found great success on LinkedIn, and it's constantly changing. So we went over a couple of these newer features today, but I'm sure next time we give this workshop next year, we'll probably have new slides to add. So I'll hand it over to Jordan to see if we have any questions, and we'll go from there.
Great, thank you so much, Scott. We do have one question specific to the webinar right now, and then we do have another one that I'll address as well. The first one says, is there a way to edit employees for the business page? My business page has 2 employees that do not work here and never have. I can't seem to find a way to remove their tag as an employee. So I'm assuming they're listing the organization as where they work, and that's inaccurate.
And that's inaccurate, yeah. Without researching, I don't know if I have an answer for that. I will say, my gut is telling me you don't have control over that, simply because that is pulling from their personal LinkedIn account that they have set as, oh, I work here, but they never edited it to put the end date, right? Maybe they haven't logged in for some time and it says present, 2018 to present, but really in reality, they hadn't worked there for over a year. They haven't set that end date. So I'm unsure if you can edit it from the business end. I would be surprised if you could, because you're kind of then dealing with like an employees page. But yeah, I would say it's more on the employee side, and there's really not much I don't think that a business can do to make that change, but that's a great question.
All right, and then the other question I just want to address is we did have someone drop a suggestion for a topic for a session, and we are always open to your guys' thoughts and ideas on topics. Like Scott mentioned, we do have the rest of this year scheduled out, but Scott and I meet pretty regularly to talk about next quarter sessions, what sessions, we're getting requests on and things like that. So that's always something that we can discuss for next year. All right, we did get another question. It says, what's your preferred ratio of call to action posts versus industry news / expertise related content?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say for every and again, I pause just because it can be different, right? And it can be different on their page and how your followers are responding to your pieces of content that you're pushing out. When I kind of visualize it, I would say for every 3 to 4 storytelling posts, non-call to action posts, you then do have a direct call to action. But it kind of depends on your goal, right? Maybe you're looking for to me, that kind of ratio, that kind of 3 to 1, you're telling your brand story a bit more. You're getting your followers to know your team a bit more, what you stand for, maybe some work that you've done. And then to me, it makes sense to then do that call to action. It's like what you see, or if you're struggling with this content, depending on what business you have. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Again, it's really all about you want to make, because I've seen a number of businesses that all they do is just post call to actions. And then you see there's no likes, there's no comments. Well, it makes sense, because who wants to like or comment on something? It's like, visit our website for more information. Cool. Like no one's going to comment that. So you do want to at times ask questions and engage and build that sense of engagement and community up through your LinkedIn page. If that makes sense for your business, it does help with those algorithms. So then when you do have, and then plus with that too, you're kind of, I don't want to say planting the bait, but you're planting some seeds out to where then people might find your page through those storytelling piece of content. You gain some new followers, and now that you have new followers, you do that kind of call to action every once in a while. So I would say 3 to 1. I mean, is that off of a study? No, it's just off of personal experience. But I would certainly test and try and see what works well.
Great, thank you. It does look like we're all caught up with questions. I do know we had a handful of people who joined us after we had already started, so I do want to reshare that you will receive a copy of today's session. So if you did jump on a few minutes late and missed something, or if you were here the whole time and just want to go back and listen to something that Scott shared again, also feel free to share, with your team members if there's someone that you think would benefit from, checking out today's session. Always welcome to do that. So that email will go out either by the end of the day today or first thing tomorrow morning. We'll make sure to get that out to all of you, but I want to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you so much, Scott, for presenting.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Thank you all for joining. We hope to see you at one of our next workshops, and I think the next one is Canva, so I hope to see you there. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.